Video, I'm going to be comparing the Jump Street movies to the Mary Poppins movies. Reason for that is because in part one of this series, I compared Mary Poppins to Pacific Rim, Mary Poppins 1. I compared Jump Street to Tooth Fairy 1 and 2, Jump Street 1. So now I'm going to compare Mary Poppins and Jump Street. We look at highest score for each franchise. All four of the movies I'm looking at here are certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's quite impressive. The original Mary Poppins is a 97%. The first Jump Street movie is an 85%. We look at lowest score. Mary Poppins Returns has a 79%. Jump Street 2, which is called 22 Jump Street, has an 84%. We look at average score. Mary Poppins has an average of 88. Jump Street has an average of 84. So right now, Mary Poppins has won 2 of the rounds. Jump Street has won 1 of them. But then when you look at gap between lowest and highest score, however, Jump Street only has a gap of 1%, which is as low as you can get, whereas if Mary Poppins, it's 18%. Jump Street gets this point, so we're tied, and thus going to look at my personal opinion to see which franchise is going to move on. Now, I know I've seen 21 Jump Street before, but I haven't actually rewatched it recently, so I don't remember that much of the details. I remember the general premise. That's about these police officers who are going undercover at a high school to bust this drug ring, something like that. It's about them trying to blend in. I think it's impressive that 22 Jump Street has received about as well as the first film. I've not only watched both Mary Poppins movies, but the difference is I've actually watched them recently, so I remember them more. I definitely enjoy both of them. Admittedly, I think the original Mary Poppins is better. When it comes to Mary Poppins Returns, it did a great job of capturing the right tone, having the same style, vibe, energy of the original film. I like it didn't try to change Mary Poppins or fix it. It did more of what worked in the first film, but because of that, it inherently feels familiar. Like, okay, yeah, we're doing this again. Not that it's badly done by any means. No, it's not. The acting is quite good. I like the songs. I like the way the movie looks, set design, production design, cinematography. There's definitely good moments of humor as well as a good heart to it as well, with this family that's fallen on hard times because the mother is tragically passed away, and so the dad, George's kid, is trying to figure out how to work the finances, and as he learns, he has to figure out how to get all this money in order to save the house. Otherwise, him and his family are going to lose the house. And he also learns throughout the course, the runtime, how to connect with his kids better. The journey he goes on is definitely similar to what we saw in the first Mary Poppins. It's the same idea about this guy who's the head of the family, but at first isn't connecting as well with his family, but learns to connect with them better. I do think that aside from the inherent familiarness with Mary Poppins Returns, the one other problem here is that in Mary Poppins Returns, there's an actual villain. There's this character who you immediately realize, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. Whereas in the original Mary Poppins, it's not as simple as that, because the movie doesn't make any one character out to be the villain. You have these people at the bank that don't really understand what the little boy Michael is thinking, but the movie doesn't make them out to be evil. It doesn't present them as villains. Just, yeah, these are people that don't understand. And the movie also doesn't make out George to be the villain. Yeah, we see at first he tends to come off as more of a cold, stern guy that isn't very warm with his family, doesn't do a great job of actually showing that he cares about them, but you know that he really does. Then by the end of the first film, George is definitely a lot happier than he was before. There's growth for his character. He's a bit of a jerk at first, but still, the movie doesn't present him as the villain, but Colin Firth's character in Mary Poppins Returns is clearly the villain. I don't like that. I don't like simplifying the story, making it more conventional in that way. But in this case, it's not hard for me at all to say which franchise I'm going to choose. Because I remember both Mary Poppins movies well. I actually watched the original one for the first time back when I was a college student at SMSU up in Marshall. As it turns out, it's a movie that's nostalgic for my mom, and I didn't see it for the first time until I was a college student. But I remember both Mary Poppins movies, whereas I don't remember 21 Jump Street quite as well. I mean, I remember enjoying it, but I don't even remember when it is I watched it last. I think it was a long time ago at this point, so I'm easily going to choose Mary Poppins. That'll be it for this video.